Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going today? So, today is a beautiful Sunday, and here's how my weekend went so far. I just took a really quick trade here on API 3, and then yesterday I took two trades on MKR. So, yesterday I made $3,600, and today I made 1,600. So, that brings me up to a total of about 5,100 American dollars in just the weekend. It was just the weekend trading it. And this trade here, you can see that I entered around 127.58 and I closed it at 124. And this one was a really fast trade. This one was actually only a 9-minute trade. And I'll talk to you really quickly about how I was able to make a really quick $1,600 in literally 9 minutes. So I woke up today pretty late because I've been up really late lately. I was watching the Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fight yesterday, and then Friday I stayed up all night to watch a position of mine. So I woke up and I saw this coin right here. Okay, I saw that this was rallying heavily to the top side, and I noticed that it did something like over 60% already. So whenever a coin does something huge like that and you miss it all, the chances of you catching it like at the top, it's not the best, like you're not going to be able to catch a long at the top. It's really hard. And you might also end up missing the short position as well. So you might not catch the top in terms of the short. Not only that, it's pretty hard to catch the exact top. But I want to talk about some different formations that you might be able to recognize, okay? So first of all, if you just generally look at this structure, what you're going to see is you're going to see this structure there. Usually, this structure right here is always going to be indicative of a 3 structure, okay? So what you would say to yourself is, all right, if that's a 3, right, so everything leading up to it before is probably like a 3 right here. So now what you're going to say is, okay, well, if this is a 3 somewhere in here, then obviously that's a 4, okay? Because this structure kind of looks like it's congested or it's like a flag to the upside. So you get a big rally and you might see something like that, okay? Or you might see the other way like that, okay? Or you might see like just really channeling upwards, okay? It really channeled upwards like that, okay? And then it breaks to the upside. So whenever you see structures like this, they're usually continuations to the upside. All right, that makes sense? Or you can also get like an ascending triangle or perhaps like a descending triangle even. Like oftentimes you might even see a structure like this, right? But I'm not talking about at the very top of a fifth. I'm talking about just generally, but you're not going to see a descending triangle often. Or you might get a pennant like that, or like that, or like that. But generally, wave 4 formation is really tight, and you can see a pattern forming, okay? So when you see that, you can generally go zoom out far, and you can say, oh, okay, well, this is probably like a 1 somewhere in here, right? It's probably a 1 somewhere in there. Or if not there, then maybe like that somewhere like this, okay? And then maybe the 3's there. But either way, whenever you see like a slow movement like this, you're seeing a slow movement, okay? And then you see whatever happens, and then you see all of a sudden a spike to the upside. Always assume that this structure here is going to be a 1 and a 2. And then the next one is a 3. So now that you've identified these particular counts, you just know that there's a 5 wave in here somewhere, okay? But let's just say that you were like me. Let's just say it was like something like that, okay? And then this is a 3, 4, 5. Let's say you're like me, where you didn't catch any of the rally of this entire, like, how much was it? 50%? 60%? Okay? And then you see it drop already as well. I saw it drop already, and what I said to myself, well, let's look at a lower time frame here. So when I first was brought to the attention, I noticed this, okay? I noticed that it was looking like that, and I'll bar replay it for you. It was looking like this, and then I said to myself, all right, well, that just looks like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's probably going to be a 5, okay? And then I said to myself after that as well, this could be a 1, this could be a 2, okay? I wonder if it's going to form a 3 down over here. So I let it happen, okay, and I let it keep forming. And I'm like, all right, this is probably the fifth subwave. And I said to myself, all right, this is probably going to go up like that. Okay. And now, can I look for any patterns that are easily identifiable? Okay. So the first thing I say to myself is this: let's check out the Fibonacci retracement of the entire structure first and how much it's actually dropped to the downside. So that's important to know. So then you do a Fibonacci retracement, and what you see is you say to yourself, oh, wow, look, it actually only dropped like to the 236 Fibonacci level. Okay, 236. Is it that bullish that it's going to do something like this? Finish the correction and then start shooting up? No, it won't. Most likely not. Most likely it's going to hit somewhere at least over here, or it's going to retrace upwards and then go back to the downside. That's more the realistic scenario, okay? So after you identify that and you confirm that it's not that bullish because it's not a bull market and it's not likely to correct only 236, it's more likely to correct to the downside, that's where you're going to be able to make good decisions, okay? So you count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I simply said to myself, there's got to be a pattern. There's got to be a pattern. And most likely what's going to happen is it's going to form a top like that. So I simply said to myself, if I'm right about this and it hits a top around over here, I'm just going to short it, okay? I'm just going to short it if it does something like that. So I waited. So then I assumed that this is probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and I just made a hypothesis that that's going to be a 4, and maybe there's going to be a 5, or maybe the 4 is not that high. But either way, when it gets close to a possible trend line up there, I'm pretty much going to short it. So this looks pretty decent, right? The hypothesis. So then I just let it play. I just let it go, keep going. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is even better. So I entered around 128, right? Like, is this going to go up even more? So I just let it play out. I'm like, okay, well, if this worked out, maybe this is just a simple ABC structure, okay? So if this is a simple ABC structure in here, it probably should hit up one more, right? That's pretty logical. So then I just let it play. And I'm like, oh, this is looking pretty good, right? It's looking pretty good up there. Boom. It hits my trend line right there. I simply just take the risk, okay? I simply take the risk around there and I enter it. As you can see, the price is 128.9, right? And here is my entry right there, 127.58, right? And I close it at 124. So then I just say to myself, all right, well, if it breaks this stupid trend line, I'll probably take my loss. Like if it goes really, really high upwards, right? And it rejects. It literally rejects. And then my target, I say, is I'm probably going to try to go for somewhere near a double bottom just to be conservative. And it ends up hitting it. At 124 is my close, right around there. Boom. So that's how I was able to make $1,600 today. And this was only a like $50,000 position. So it was a quick 3% scalp in only 9 minutes. So that's how I did it today. I'm going to go back to having a beer on a beautiful Sunday and relaxing. Bye.